Welcome to Rauta's Vinyl Time. This time again we have two 7-inch EPs here for review from Godz of War Productions, Poland. Previous week I featured a couple of 7-inch EP split ones. So once again, similar output, two 7-inch against one another in a review duel sense. Not to be taken too seriously, but still. And time is for death metal talk. Now I'm gonna read you the titles here so I don't make mistakes, which I'm kind of bound to take, human and all, old and all. So what we have here first is Viscous with Morbid Arousal 7-inch EP from Canada. This is their first real release after a demo with the same name. This is the only one out of these four 7-inch ones which is not a split. Then we have this Black Ceremonial Kult / Shambles Crimson Death Radiation. And Black Celebration Cult is from Chile and Shambles is from Thailand. So very exotic if you're coming from European standpoint or Western world standpoint to this particular stuff. First, let's take a look at this Viscous 7-inch. Like I said, it's from Canada, Quebec. Very fresh from the oven. That is a new band, and this comes with a inline piece of cardboard or thick paper, including liner notes as well as the lyrics. Quite a simple and sweet in that sense. And this one is a colored limited edition, and what I could gather from Metal Archive's site means that all of these 7-inch EPs by Godz of War Productions are more or less limited in various colors and all. Then this other 7-inch EP here, like said, features Chilean and Thai music, which is curious. Both play death metal, both have only one lengthier track on either side, around 8 minutes mark, 70 minutes mark, roughly. Crimson Death Radiation is the name of this 7-inch EP. This is actually gatefold one, which is pretty cool, especially when people are probably used to this kind of format with LPs and whatnot. But this is, with the notes and photos, a 7-inch gatefold. Pretty cool format if you ask me. And wild, I guess. I'm not sure if this counts as splatter, but nonetheless, not just one colored black, but having this kind of I would say, blackened sun feeling in a way. So pretty cool to look at. So let's start with this one since this is in my hands. Both bands play kind of a dark, heavy death metal, you could say, with an old school touch. Now if you go for Metal Archive site for Shambles, for example, you will see that they are labeled as, you know, different eras for different styles or genres when it comes to music. Some say more doom death nowadays and this and that previously. Well, this is technically speaking old school death metal track what they have here. Yes, you can call it, if you just stretch a little bit, and call it doom death because there are slower parts and all, but mostly it's just very heavy, dark death metal riffing with a little bit too much overextending its stay with the songwriting. Don't get me wrong, the vocals are fine, the production is pretty okay and all that stuff, but nothing out of ordinary, nothing original, nothing that really is like, wow, this really separates, you know, the shaft from the rest kind of stuff. It's just one of those basic old school death metal things, and of course, you're really quick to jump into conclusions just based on one song, but let's be honest about it, this isn't exactly top seller track in the sense. I mean, it fits very, very well the Black Ceremonial Kult here, but, you know, sitting apart from a lot of those other bands doing old school death metal, I don't think it's gonna do the magic trick. That band has been out there from late 90s, so there's plenty to music to go to if you are looking for something exotic as Thai death metal. Now, Black Ceremonial Kult here does basically the same genre. Once again, operating in the heavy, grim, dark death metal thing with the old school way. And nothing exactly original is happening there. I'm not gonna say it's a bad thing. I'm just pointing that it doesn't sound like a modern death metal thing. And if you compare it to the 80s classics, well, let's be honest about it. This ain't gonna challenge Death, Obituary, Cannibal Corpse, Morbid Angel, and the like. Nor the Swedish type. This is just one of those, like, very first demo tracks in a way. Chilean band doesn't have albums out yet, so it's still in a early ways or phases of death metal. And the same thing can be said about Viscous. This is more aggressive than those counterparts, and songs are shorter, which it's kind of obvious here. You have 2 tracks per side here, which means this is not overextending its stay, but more getting to the point rather quickly. It's aggressive and it's intense, but once again, the riffs don't really stand out from the rest. Like, okay, like this is some killer riff there, and this is more melodic part here, and whatever. So once again, if you're looking for something catchier, something that is wow, a hit death metal song, you're gonna be disappointed with either of these. Both are similar in the sense that you really get the old school heavy death feeling, and once again, if you like that stuff, you are probably gonna like both of these 7-inch EPs. And same goes for the previous episode where I was featuring Pyromancer, Perversion, Ashen Tomb, and Sepulchral Curse. So all in all, these are basically from the same factory, if you will. So if I got to choose the winner, because of course this is the duel concept, I would say Viscous wins, because they are able to, quit before it gets boring. I mean, you really don't know the basic kind of a death metal song to go for 7-8 minutes. These guys know when to quit and move on, and there are plenty of other bands to do that stuff. But like I said, if you like either of these 7-inch EPs or any of these 3 bands, you're probably gonna like all of them. But of course, you will do the listening by yourself, and links are provided in the description box, so check them out if you're into old school grim heavy death metal. And if not, move on, more reviews coming your way soon. Bye bye.